Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is anybody here? Is this live? Hang on.
Hey,
No,
Gary.
it's not working. Yeah.
All right.
It's
Let me
not.
see. Let's see if it's going on right now.
Nah, it's not. All right. Welcome, welcome. Is anybody here? Is this live?
Yeah, it's working.
I'm live on YouTube? Oh, all right. Cool. Hang on. Let me put this in the Discord.
Let's see if it's going on right now.
Can you turn your phone off? I can hear it in the background.
Done.
Yeah. All right, give me 1 second. This is weird with no chat. Is everything? All right, we got some people in here. All right, Mac wants to know where he can watch the Nonito Donaire fight. Where are we watching the Donaire fight?
I'm not sure. Is it ESPN? I have to look. I'll find out.
I haven't even looked at it. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let everyone roll in a little bit. I'm trying to get this started. Hang on. Let me see. All right. You got some people rolling in. I'm not so let me this is different. This is StreamYard is down. It's not working at all. This is an issue. But I think we got it up and running the best we can. I got a bunch of you guys in here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the link in the Discord. I'm going to put it in the chat. Hang on. Give us your thoughts real quick while I'm doing this. TJ on Richardson and Cambosas real quick. I'm gonna guys, please smash the like button. Let me know that you're here in the chat. Well, I'm using a different streaming service. Break down Richardson and the big fight of the weekend real quick.
Big fight of the weekend. Richardson, Hitchens, George Cambosas. I mean, somebody had put it in the Discord. I thought it was hilarious because they're spot on. George Cambosas is like a elite journeyman, right? So I think that's a good way to describe him. Because he had one world-class performance, and I haven't seen it again, including losing to Maxi Hughes. I scored at 8-4, probably 5 best, but Maxi gave him a thorough boxing lesson. And that's at 135. So when you talk Richardson Hitchens is a big 140 pounder. He's undefeated. We could have a discussion about the Gustavo Lemos fight. I mean, what will Gustavo Lemos do to George Cambosas with absolutely crash? So you're going to have to just have a serious discussion on what's the method of Hitchens of winning, because I don't say everything's a lock every week, but I think Hitchens winning is a lock. So you got to kind of figure out, is he going to go the distance or is he going to stop George Cambosas? George Cambosas in all rights is very, very durable. So
they're saying JJ saying you're not clear. Let me you sound hang on. Say something real quick.
Yeah, let me jump off. I'll jump back on.
Jump in. I wanted to ask, and I'll wait for him to come back in real quick. He should come in and out real quick. I wanted to ask him just exactly how that happens. How Cambosas beats a guy like Teofimo Lopez and then doesn't really win even but a round or two. Thank you for the super chat, CGP. I do appreciate that. How exactly that happens? How does he beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez? And you can see the odds. The odds started off wide, minus 1,800. But now they've gone absolutely wild. Minus 3,500, what have you. The odds have gone, to the extreme. Oh, here he is. Let's see if this is better. Guys, let me know if he's better.
It's not.
I can't hear you. You're muted or something. I can't hear you at all. This is an all-time difficult stream right here. But shout out for the super chat. Appreciate you. I got nothing. When you came in, I could hear some wind or something in the background. And now you guys can't hear him in the chat, right? Sup, Rafa? This is just not working out today. This is just I'm gonna carry the show here until I can get hopefully I can get Chilltown back in. The thing they do notify me when he pops in. And this is what I wanted to look at. We'll just go through this real quick. Guys, let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, anything like that. This Daniel Grossbutt and Theo Alate. I've gotten to watch the tape on this. I like the odds here. I think this is a fight we can definitely make money on. I definitely think he goes over. Cipollini says, yo, the Pizaro Marcado over 8.5 is minus 500. How do you feel about that? I definitely like the over on that. For sure. This is here we go. Let's try this again. I can hear you now. I can hear you loud and clear, my man. Loud and clear. Does he sound good?
Yeah. No, this is great, man. Good. Much better.
All right. So Cipollini in the chat's got a question I want to address. Pizaro Marcado over 8.5, minus 500. How do you feel about that?
Minus 500.
On the over.
I think there's a chance Marcado. Yeah, I think there's a chance Marcado's going to stop Pizaro.
Do you think Marcado's going to win the fight?
I like Marcado. I think he's plus 100 on DraftKings.
Yeah, it was basically an even money fight. Yeah. I'll pull up the current odds right now. Okay. So right now, Marcado's minus 105 and Pizarro is minus 120. So, I mean, Pizarro is the slightest of favorites. It's basically an even money fight. All right, break that down for me because I'm watching Marcado and I couldn't. Yeah, what do you like about him?
No. I was going to say CG Boxing just sent you a super chat. Listen, very sharp.
Gave him a shout, yeah.
Very sharp kid. So if anyone on YouTube there in the chat, ask him any questions. Very, very sharp. He knows his boxing.
CG you're talking about?
CG Boxing. Yeah, I think he's also on Marcado also. Look, Israel Marcado, he had that draw recently. I mean, that was on 2 weeks' notice. And that wasn't a draw. He should have won that fight against a very good fighter. And Brandon Pizarro, I mean, he's the A side here. That's my worry. He's a good boxer. He's a Puerto Rican from Philly. He's got that Philly shell. He can stick and move, but he's been hurt multiple times, and he's been hurt to the body. Marcado is that like Mexican-American. I actually don't know if he's Mexican, but he might be Mexican-American. He might be. I don't know what he's related to Tito Marcado. I don't know if he's Nicaraguan or Honduras, but he's got the Mexican style. I put it that way, where he's just a worry. He don't stop throwing punches. It's a 10-round fight, and I think he's gonna get to Pizarro. I think it's he's got a chin on him, and he's just nonstop. And if he's had a full training camp, I think plus 100 is great odds.
It's basically an even money fight, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't think either of these fighters are world class. I'm not a fan of either fighter. To me, Marcado got the draw on 2 weeks' notice. He's sloppy. He's wide, right? Like nothing is set up off the jab. He's just kind of winging shots to me. He keeps his lead hand low, and when you're not athletic and you keep you're super twitchy, and you keep your lead hand low, to me it's problematic to me when you do it when you are a hyper athlete. When you're not super athletic and you carry your lead hand low,
and that's why he got dropped early in that fight. In that draw, he got dropped and he loses the first early rounds. And once his opponent starts to fatigue, he's got a great work. You know, he's got a great engine. He's got a great work rate, and he has a chin like that Mexican style. So he's gonna wear you down, and that's why when I see Brendan, I was like, yeah, Brendan's more skillful, but once he starts to tire out, he's gonna get worn down. If he can't hurt him, that's usually the name of the game, right? With the boxer versus the puncher. So that's my lean on that. So can it go over? I mean, I wouldn't pay minus 500 on it.
All right,
I've seen Brendan Pizaro be hurt before. If you watch his fight with the Brazilian, what was his name? Galindo. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I went back and I did all the tape I could on him. There's a decent amount of tape on both of them. Yeah.
What?
They don't. I could not find Marcado's most recent fight, which sucks. So I was going off some older tape. Neither guy really. This is the best fighter either guy has fought. I would. You're talking about the Rubalcaba fight, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I did the Donjel Haynes fight. That he looked terrible in that. I don't know. He just doesn't look. I don't see it in Marcado. He's sloppy and wide, and I'm just. He gets hit a lot. He's not a big puncher. Like, he's not a huge puncher. If you look at Marcado's last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights at least, they've all gone the distance. He's not getting people. I know his 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's more than that. His last 8 fights have all gone the distance. The last time one of his fights didn't go the distance, he's fighting a 7-23 guy. I
mean, I'd argue this is Pizaro's best opponent.
By far, it's Pizaro's best opponent. By far, yeah. And Pizaro
I'm not saying it's a lock, but I'm saying that plus 100 for me, it's Marcado or pass, because I saw him in the Ruba fight, and I thought he thoroughly won that. I thought he beat him up. Like, that was obviously A side cooking, which typically, if you're a B side and you get a draw, we all know that. You know,
we all know you won the fight.
Alejandro Santiago, how many draws has he gotten as the B side, and they were all wins? He's gotten like 4 or 5. So.
No, Marcado did look better, and he beat Rubalcaba. But you go back to the fight before that, where he fights Donjel Haynes. They're both completely gassed by the 4th or 5th round. He's just, I don't know, like I'm not. This is not a ringing endorsement on Pizaro, because I don't think Pizaro is particularly good either. I'm just, if I have to pick a winner, I think it goes the distance. I'd be most confident in that, but that's only minus 500. Who do I think wins more rounds? Probably Pizaro. I don't say that with a ton of confidence, but if I had to pick a fighter here, I would take Pizaro. I'd say Pizaro on points, because neither one of them really gets knockouts. None of them really commit to their shots. Marcado, to me, just kind of flings arm shots. Now, he's relentless, and you're right, he's got a better gas tank.
Which, I mean, it's a 10-round fight. This is a 10-round fight. If the Ruba fight was 10 rounds, he absolutely would. The momentum was on his side. That was an 8-round fight. So, I don't know. When I did the tape on this, I didn't spend a lot of time. I just did the tape, and then I saw the odds. I said, oh, he's plus 100. I thought he should be the favorite. So, but then I see why. He's in Philly. You know, he's going again. He's the B side again. But that's my take on it. You know, for me, it's Marcado.
If I had to bet, I would take Pizaro, and I would take it to go over. So we're gonna we'll find out soon enough which one of us. I could easily be wrong on this. Yeah, I could easily be wrong on this. But I would lean towards Pizaro, and you and the British guy, CG, are both going the other way on this. All right, so if I'm right on this, I'm going to stand alone on this. All right, the other evenest fight, they got a little wider, is the Ghanaian fighters, Daniel Grosh and Theo Alate. Have you got to watch the tape on these guys?
No. I know the fight. I know people playing it. That's in Ghana, right?
Yeah, it's an Amir Khan card. Amir Khan's the promoter on it.
Yeah, it's in Ghana. It's pretty much 50-50. Is that on Friday too?
Yeah, it's on the Zone. It's on Friday. It's on the Zone.
Yeah, there's a few fights on the Zone this weekend. No, I didn't play it.
All right, to me, Gross is going to win this fight. I like him. He's got that typical. He's tight. He's Ghanaian. He works the jab. He gets a little wild, but you can't not look at him and not. They're little. They're 115 pounders, right? They 112. Well, they're 115. They have super flies, right? You can't not watch them and say, okay, that's a mini Ike Corte. Like, I'm not saying he's as good as Corte. He's not. But stylistically, he's Ike Corte, but smaller. I like Roche. Alate got the last time Alate, the only time he's fought anyone with a pulse, he got knocked out. So Grosh can punch. He's tight. He hits hard. To me, Grosh probably wins this by stoppage. And then Andrew Tabiti. We all know Tabiti well. He's fighting his Uber driver. It's minus 2,000. Any action on this?
No, I don't have any. I'm not playing anything from the Africa card.
John Fernandez and Ricardo Nunez in Spain.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing John for.
Yeah,
I got him winning as long as he does not get hurt or stop. That's my worry with Nunez. Nunez carries serious power, but otherwise he should be winning the decision. Yeah,
I said this too. It's either John Fernandez by 100 to 90 decision, or he gets knocked out. Right? Like those.
Why would Nunez win in 2025? I'm trying to figure that out. So unless he clips him, but
that's the thing right there. The other fight, and someone in the chat, let me know how we're watching this fight. Donaire Campos. To me, all right, it's down to plus 230. It was plus 240 yesterday, so it's got a little worse. But at plus 230, to me, Campos is a really good bet. Donaire is shot. He's 42. He's 6 months older than me, or 8 months older than me. I love Donaire. We put him in the Hall of Fame in the first ballot. Great career. He's gonna lose and potentially get knocked out in this fight. What do you think?
I haven't played the fight yet, but look, I made a ton of money. That was one of my big bets with Alejandro Santiago, who I mentioned before, to beat Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire was on a roll, but he relies on that hook. That hook has got him, where he is right now.
The left hook, yeah.
Yeah, the left hook. And why I haven't pulled the trigger on Campos is simply because the size difference. I mean, he is 112 pounds like a year ago.
He's fighting Sonny Edwards. He fought Edwards life and death
at 115, 112.
At 115, 112,
118. What is this?
Yeah.
Now? 118.
18.
Donaire's massive at 118. I mean, Donaire was fighting up at 126. So, and Campos has been stopped before. The thing with Campos, that if you want to make the argument for him, is that he's young and he's got an engine. He's going to keep coming forward, but he's going to get hit. Now, Donaire could win in 1 through 6. I think if he's not out of there by 1 through 6, Campos is going to just out-hustle him, out-work him. Though it's the one thing that I had so much faith in Santiago, is that Santiago has a chin on him, very good chin, and he had a good work rate. So I was very confident in him. I can't say the same for Campos because Campos is much smaller. So, for me, it's got to be Campos or pass. You can't say you're going to put money on Nonito Donaire in Argentina, coming off a loss. Last fight was in 2023, and he's 42. Like, there's too many flags there, so it's got to be Campos. Campos or pass.
You go back to Santiago. Santiago, obviously, he got iced by Nakatani shortly after the Donaire fight, a couple months after that. Yeah. And then he just lost again his last fight, off television in Mexico, Cancun or something like that. He lost again. I didn't see the fight, so I can't comment on it factually. But if that level of fighter is beating the hell out of Donaire, and Donaire, it's another 2-year layoff from that fight was in 2023, so it's another 2-year layoff from Donaire. Unless you really don't rate Campos at all, who did fight, albeit at a small weight class, did fight Sonny Edwards life and death. I don't see how he doesn't win.
Santiago's very good, though. I mean, I understand that he lost in Mexico, but he took a beating from Nakatani. Sometimes you're never the same after that.
Fair enough.
Santiago's on wars. So, but he outworked Donaire. It's not like, when you're that age, the thing that's going to drop off is your work rate. You're not going to throw your hands as much. You're going to pick and choose your spots because you're 42 years old. So that's one thing. Campos is going to have him. He's going to outwork him. Now, does he get clipped or not? So it could be a good hedge.
I'm trying to get my guys paid this week. I got to get a lock of the week out. I gotta get them locks. How are we making money this week? What am I what am I making money? This is a rough week to make money on, my man. I thought Campos money line plays plus money. You tell me. I like the over on the Pizaro fight. You don't even like that. What can we agree on? What can we make money on?
I mean, for me personally, I don't really push that. I'd rather pass than lose, but I'm really confident in Hitchens. It's just how is Hitchens gonna win? I know I've told people in the Discord, right, that he opened up even higher than plus 360, but I know the knockout was plus 360. For me, it's 50-50. For when I really think about it, watch tape on both, I'm like, I think it may go distance. But I'll give you an example, right? If I think it's 50-50, you're playing plus 300, plus 360 for the knockout, like then you got to play that. But I'll give you an example as in Boots and Karen in the rematch. A lot of people, including myself, I thought, it's 50-50. He could knock him out or it could go points. But he should knock him out. He should learn from his mistakes. He should knock him out. But then I saw the price on points. It was like plus 500, plus 4. I'm like, wait a minute. Not what my gut or not what I think he might do. I got to play points. The first fight already happened. We saw Karen. He's tough. He's durable. You got to play plus 400, plus 500 points if you think it's going to be 50-50. And a lot of people did. Karen might last. Karen might not. And Boots almost knocked him out, but it went points. So it's like sometimes you have to use some logic in that. And for me, I think Campbell could get worn down. He could just be taking a beating. It could be that lopsided of a skill set where the back half of the fight, he's just eating right hand after right hand. His face is a mess, which it usually was. It was with Jake Willie. He looked horrible in the back half of the fight with Jake Willie, who's a club level fighter, right? Respectively, he's a club level fighter, and he was landing the jab in the right hand and left hooks on George Cambosas. So, and he's not even a real 140-pound. He could probably have a nutritionist and make 130, Jake Wiley. So, and George Cambosas doesn't belong at 140. So, Richardson Hitchens is very big at 140. So, I could see if he really stepped on the gas, and this is where I'm coming with a little problem with this. He doesn't step on the gas.
That's what he used to. I feel like he used. When he was coming up, I love Richardson Hitchens, and now he's doing his best Caleb Plant impersonation. It's like he's married to the back foot. He will not come forward. He won't put his punches together. And he looks like an Eddie Hearn domestic British level guy, where he's just looking to score points and he's just looking to out jab you. And I don't know. Like, this is not at the world class level. You can't run for 12 rounds. You're gonna have to pick spots, right? And I don't see that in Hitchens at all. All I see is a guy that's it's going to be enough to beat Cambosas because I don't rate Cambosas at all. I never did. But
John Bowser was a perfect example. John Bowser was coming in undefeated, very confident, and Richardson Hitchens there was just a complete skill gap. So I believe he dropped him twice, unleashed jabs and right hands on him, and the ref, some fighters, you have to acknowledge that the ref is there, and when he's yelling to the other fighter, show me something, that's when you have to jump on the gas, throw a 5-piece, and the ref stops it. Hitchens doesn't do that. So, like Bud Crawford there's a ton of fighters. They will just jump on
Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders used to drive me insane. Yeah.
And they'll let you off the hook, and we'll take it another round when you're not reading the cues here. You see the father with the towel, like you're seeing it, jump on him, stop the fight. Like, that fight should have been stopped. It was that one-sided of a beatdown. Obviously, the Alamo fight was stopped in the corner because he took such a beatdown. And I think they're on the level of, say, a George Cambosas. That's why I'm 50-50 on this, because if Hitchens really does show out and say he's going to get, he can get the KO. He 100% can get it's on him. Will he do it or not with George Cambosas? So, I don't know, but for the price, I paid it. I played the knockout in 7-12.
I wanted to get to this. 79 Pros, long-time friend of the show, good dude, says Kazuki, Norman, Hitchens over 10.5, Fernandez, Grosh, Campos. I'm going to sign off on Grosh. I know you didn't get to watch the tape. I'm going to sign off on that bet. But this pays him plus 1,200, basically. So it's Kazuki, money line, Norman, money line, the over 10.5 on Hitchens, and then Fernandez and Campos. What are your thoughts on that? It's a lot, but do you object to anything in there?
No, I mean, Brian Norman, I have a little bit issue with Brian Norman. He should win. It's in Japan though, and I don't know how other people feel about it, but I think he's where he's at because welterweight division is so. I mean, you have Boots Ennis and then everybody else, right? In the welterweight division,
it's not your
very
grandfather's welterweight division anymore. That's for sure. Yeah,
and he's living off of one spectacular win against Giovanni Santillan. I mean, if you watch the other fights, which I've watched many of his fights, he struggled in many fights. He wasn't living up to the hype because he was such a great sparring warrior and then prospect coming up. But he didn't know what to do with Quentin Randall. He smothered all his work. He got dropped badly and almost stopped by Janelson Boca Chica. Right? That's why he was the underdog going into Giovanni Santillan. And his last fight was against really a no-name nobody, Cuevas, who was good, but he wasn't world level. And the thing with Jin Sasaki is that I would say he's a skilled brawler, right? This is just going to be two guys punching each other in the face. I give Norman the edge because he's more complete defensively, and he has such an athletic advantage. He's outside of Boots, in the 147 division, he's the most athletic fighter, and that's going to carry him a long way. So he should win, but because they both have the ability to get hit, Jin Sasaki's so fun, and he's going to be I know he's going to be throwing bombs. Does one land? Does one not land? So I don't know how heavy I would go on it because I did see him get almost, knocked unconscious by Boca Chica. But around minus 350, minus 400, I think Norman Jr. This is just my thoughts on Norman Jr. and why he could be dangerous here. Like, he's not a lock, but I think Norman Jr. would be good in there.
Yeah, I'm going to take Norman Jr. for all the reasons you just listed. I don't really rate Jin Sasaki. He's a come-forward brawler. He's wide open. Norman's a better athlete. I think Norman carries more than enough power to knock him out. The bet I like here, and I'll let you respond to this, even more than I like Norman, because Norman could get knocked out. That's on the table.
Let me just put it here real quick. I think someone like Rohan Polanco would be a nightmare for Norman. So I'll just say the boxing skill, the power. So
I like this not to go the distance. I like that prop better than Norman on the money line. Like, someone's getting knocked out in this fight. I would if it's paying about the same, it's probably paying better for it not to go the distance.
Yeah,
I would just take that prop.
I don't know what the price is. Yeah,
let me see. Yeah, but Norman's like what, minus 400. Oh, they don't have the prop. I saw it on another book. It was. If you could get not to go the distance at minus 200 or better, would you take it?
I would take it. I don't know how confident. So me taking it and me throwing a lot of money on it are two different things.
Someone
depends on the price. But I'm looking right now at what his super. He's getting almost, what is that? Plus 1,200 odds. That's wild.
Yeah, there's nothing in here I really object to.
No,
right?
no, it could definitely. Yeah. No, that could definitely hit. Yeah, easily. I could see that.
Something I like, especially at plus 1,200. Just take this. I mean, I wouldn't bet the ranch on it because there's a lot of legs there, but Gorsh is a basically even money fight, and Campos is a dog. So you're gonna have to hit on some things, but I would bet on everything individually. I would bet on everything you have in that parlay. So I like it.
Andy Cruz is in with not a world level opponent again. So
I wanted to ask you about when he came out. Eddie Hearn was as high could be. He was going to fight Tank Davis in his first fight. He was going to be fighting for a world title by his third fight, and all of these crazy things. And here we are 2 years later, and we're not even fighting world level guys anymore. Is Andy Cruz not panning out? What is, like? Because this seems to be the worst guy he's fought since Giovanni Saffron. Like, why? And that was a year and a half ago. Why are we taking these steps backwards?
I think it may be an eliminator. I don't know. There's a
right.
reason behind this opponent. There's got to be a reason behind this opponent. But I mean, I wish he'd fight like, say, a Tevin Farmer or like a Kid Austin. But he should definitely be stepping up the competition because his opponent is not world class. He doesn't do anything better than Andy Cruz. So once again, we have to ask ourselves, does this go 12 rounds or does it get stopped? I think you can get fight not to go distance at like plus 120, plus 130 in certain spots.
Yeah,
That might be.
to not go the distance, does it go is even money on DraftKings, and then to go the distance is minus 135.
Look, Cruz has been buzzed twice.
Yeah,
His last fight, Omar, and then his fight with, I want to say, Antonio Moran. He went on to stop Moran. I don't know how much that was Moran being weight trained because he's really a 140-pound fighter.
yeah, but Moran is way better than Hinori Mashuru. Like, if Moran fought Mashuru, Moran beats him, doesn't he?
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
This is a substantial, a noticeable step backwards in opposition, and I'm just wondering.
Step back or a sidestep? It's not a step forward by any means.
So why are they making these fights? I mean, if it's an eliminator, it's an eliminator. I think you might be right. It might be an eliminator. You might be right, which would answer that question.
Yeah, I think it would be an eliminator, and then maybe, I don't know, we'll get Raymond Murataya. I have no idea. But
the other thing,
yeah,
go ahead. The other thing I want to touch on was the wild swing in the odds. This opened up minus 1,400, and then it went to minus 3,000 on DraftKings, and now it's back at minus 1,800. What do you make of that? Minus 1,400, minus 3,000, back down to minus 1,800.
And I saw Hitchens on DraftKings went to minus 3,500.
3,500 for 18. What is
Hitchens right now?
I think he's still at minus 3,500.
Because they went up at the same time.
Yeah, they did. Let me get it pulled up for you. Hitchens is minus 1,200 now.
Yeah, so it dropped back down. All right.
Yeah.
That tells me, I don't know. I mean, money moves the lines, right? So unless there was something else at work, I wouldn't read into that too much. Like I tell people, I had big money on Lamont Roach beating Fergal McCory, and then all of a sudden Lamont Roach went from like minus 1,600 to like minus 600, and a ton of money came in on Fergal McCory. And you would say maybe you get worried, you should know that, but sometimes it means absolutely nothing because Fergal McCory didn't win, a minute of that fight.
So let me ask you this question: would you be okay with this as a 3-leg parlay? Kazuki, Hitchenson, and Cruz. It's not going to pay the best, but it's minus 303. It's something. Would you guys be as a 3-leg parlay? Would you sign off on that?
Yeah, I think so.
What if I took Hitchens out and put the over on it? If I put the over on it, it brings it down to like minus 167. So it's Cruz money line, Kazuki money line, over on Hitchens.
Man, like I said, I think how one-sided is it going to get in the second half of the fight? I think that's what you got to play in your mind.
Here's my point, though. Was Haney at any point in either fight close to knocking out Cambosas?
He took a beating in that second fight.
He took a beating, but it was never about to be stopped.
But like I've said before, that was Haney at 135. I absolutely think he was handicapped. I told people before, there's a very thin line between being weight drained and a weight bully. And I think he was teetering on that line, Devin Haney, because when he went up to 140, he looked like a completely different fighter against Regis Prograis. He looked much healthier, bigger, fresher, stronger, faster. Even the Loma fight, I thought he was handicapped. George Cambosas, the second fight, he did much better. Maybe you can give George Cambosas one round. But in my mind, I said, if Devin Haney was the fighter against Regis Prograis, he's stopping. I think he's going to stop George Cambosas because George Cambosas was eating so many shots. I mean, that fight could have been stopped.
Am I misremembering? Haney almost had Cambosas stopped in the ninth. Am I remembering that? I'm not remembering that. Is he
in
right?
The second fight.
Yeah, I'm assuming the second fight. Yeah.
I mean, the first fight was one-sided. Second fight was even more dominant.
Yeah.
So now imagine Haney at 140 being even stronger, not killing himself to get those 5 extra pounds off, and that's virtually what you're going to have with Richardson and Hitchens. Hitchens is even bigger than Haney.
140 Haney versus Hitchens. Who would you take? At 140.
Right now, probably stylistically, maybe that's a close fight. Probably Hitchens.
Okay, I'd probably lean
You know.
over, but I hear you. I get you. Yeah.
Look, it's a stylistic. I'm one of the few people that took Hitchens to beat Liam Paro, and that's after he took that very close fight with Gustavo Lemos. I was very confident in him to beat Liam Paro, and I don't know. And I also, before anyone says anything, I picked Liam Paro to beat Subriel Matias. So that's
Did you really? I lost a lot of money on that. That pissed me off. I lost a lot of money. Good for you.
in Puerto Rico, and I have that on my Twitter. I caught a lot of heat for that because everyone said, "Well, why wouldn't you play Liam Paro by knockout?" And I said, "I don't care. It's in Puerto Rico. I think he could win in Puerto Rico, even 1 point. So I'm taking a money line. The money line was juicy enough, like what +4 something. Yeah, I just thought Matias is very, very I think Matias is gonna have a struggle with Puello for those same reasons. If you make him reset, he needs to get going. He needs momentum. So if you have somebody that can stick him, move around, make him reset, he's not going to get that momentum. He's a momentum fighter. Anyway, that was my theory behind it.
As for my boy Muscles, do we have knockdowns on this, don't we? Or do we not have?
On Hitchens? Yeah. We have under one knockdown.
Under 1.5 knockdowns, -370. I got to ask for my boy. You like
that's
this?
That's 1.5, though. Yeah,
that's 1.5 knockouts. You like that?
Yeah. Well, they have the one so that would be 2 knockouts, but
right. So it's got
only one knockout is like -170.
I don't have that though. Oh, I think I have.
You should have it. If you got 2, you should have 1.
Yeah, it's either fighter to be knocked down, which would be 1 knockdown. It's -165. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you feel safer with the 2, I don't think. Listen, if Hitchens is going to stop Cambosas, I think it's going to be a K. I don't think he's going to stop. He could drop him. But I think it's going to be a volume thing. I think it might be the corner saying enough. I think it's going to be the ref saying, hey, enough. I don't think it's going to be he's going to time him perfectly and he's going to get dropped. And that's not in Hitchens' style. I'm not saying that it can happen, but I say most likely it won't happen. And I agree with Kingdom Life. I don't think Haney's been the same by Ryan either. That's why I would edge it to Hitchens if they fought. I think he's got some PTSD that we saw with Jose Carlos Ramirez for sure. But yeah, I like the, you know what? I like the under 1.5 if you want to be safe. What is it? -370?
-370. So here's my parlay. I got Kazuki, Cruz, and under the 1.5 knockdown. It pays -179.
So yeah, logically it makes sense, right? If you're talking it through, I don't see Cambosas. When's the last time he got a knockdown besides Teofimo fluke?
Teofimo, yeah.
When's the last time he got knocked down? Cambosas really doesn't get knocked down. He's hard-headed.
That's why I like it to go over. But, yeah, it could just be a culmination stoppage. The corner stops it. Like, that could happen. That's why, if I could get the over 8.5 on that fight, I would take it. I know some books have it where you can kind of adjust it to each round that you like. I don't have that on DraftKings. So, all right. Would you sign off on this then? Is this better? Would you sign off on this parlay? Kazuki, Cruz, and under 1.5 knockdowns on a Hitchens fight.
Yeah,
-170.
Good. Yeah, and what does it come out?
-179. -179.
Oh, so -180. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. Man, I want to take Marcado.
We pieced
that as a side bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Marcado and Campos are both probably good underdog side bets.
I'm gonna throw some change on both of them. I'll throw some money on Pizaro. You'll throw some money on Marcado?
Yeah, I already have.
All right. Oh, you have? Okay. I'll throw some money on Pizaro, and we'll see. We'll see who's right and who's wrong here. All right. Are you guys good with that? I know you gotta run soon, right, DJ?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Fernandez. If you guys are comfortable with Fernandez in Spain.
I'm comfortable. You can add Fernandez. He's not old, right? I thought he was older. He's actually not old. He's like 29. Yeah. Yeah, you could throw Fernandez in that too.
How old is Nunes? Nunes been around a long time.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. Let me look it up real quick.
He fought Tank years ago, right?
I was like, how old is John Fernandez? Like 35? I was like, no, he's like 29. I was like, that's all he is? Yeah, Fernandez is 29, which is shocking to me. I thought he was like 35. And then let me see if I can get Ricardo Nunez's age. Nunez is only 31, so both these guys are a lot younger than they seem.
Yeah. because they've turned pro. Probably they've been fighting for so long.
Yeah. Nunez turned pro in 2010. So it would have made it so if he's 31, he was born in 20. Wait, if he's 31, he's born 1995, 94, 94. And he turned pro turned pro when he was 16. Yeah. All right. If you got any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, put them in the comment section now. I know this was a little unconventional, a little awkward today, but we got it in. Any last minute thoughts? Any last minute comments?
I think
predictions?
no. I'll just respond to Sagu, like Wagyu. Does DraftKings have the only knockdown props? No. FanDuel's got them, and I think ESPN Bet also have them.
It's Muscles in the chat is like 8 for 9 betting on the under knockdown props. If you can get it in women's fights, always take it. Like always take it in women's fights.
Yeah, knockdowns are rare. It's just
they pulled them back a lot of
On the apps, I remember I bet it on DraftKings, Regis Pro, because I usually don't prop bet at all. But Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda, I had a feeling that there was not going to be any knockdowns, and the under for that was like a really good number. I put a lot on that. But then the next day they limited me. It's like I feel like the prop bets, maybe you get limited. Maybe it's different at the casinos, but I know on the actual apps, there's like the prop bets, and I don't know. It seems like prop, instead of taking money line, sometimes they're real quick to limit you.
The last one, JoJo, was a little late, but we talked about the Campos. TJ said Campos or nothing. Campos or skip it. I would sign off on Campos here, unless you think Campos, you don't rate him at all.
Campos is so small. That's the only argument I can make for Donaire, is that he's so small and he's been stopped before. So you either can say Donaire stops him early, or Campos is going to outwork him to the decision. I mean, those are two ways you could play it.
I watched Donaire's fight from 2 years ago. The explosiveness is gone. It's like entirely gone. And I love Donaire, but like I can't see him getting a stoppage anymore. His jab is slow. The explosiveness in that left hook is gone. Like I like Campos in this fight, and you're getting plus 230. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kingdom Life is saying that Cambosas might wobble Richardson Hitchens. I
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's messing around or not, but Cambosas hasn't wobbled anyone in I mean, even his 2 fights before that with Lee Selby and Mickey Bay, which were controversial, he was.
I said he lost. Selby wasn't controversial. Selby got robbed in that fight. I thought he lost to Mickey Bay, and I thought Maxi Hughes clearly beat him. So, like when you really look at it, he's got those 3 losses that he was given credit for. He got 2 losses to Haney, and he got stopped by Lomachenko. That's in reality, he's got 6 losses, and he's got.
And you're only good as your last fight, and I do not think you look good in your last fight. But I will make this argument for Richardson Hitchens. If he does, the one thing I'll be worried about is the weight. You could tell he struggles making that 140, and this is an IBF, so you're going to have that 10-pound rehydration. I know he didn't have issues with it for Liam Paro, but it's always going to be there. It's going to be an issue. So is he going to be? This is another one you're teetering on. Weight drain, weight bully, because he's got the frame for 147. Obviously, he's got so many advantages at 140. He's a very good 140. He has the size, the strength at 140. But, you pay a price. Eventually, like I said, Joe Cordina was going to pay that price. Josh Taylor was going to pay that price. You pay that price teetering on a weight division that you might not belong at for, how long can you get away with it? So that's my only concern. Do you make the weight properly? How healthy are you on?
All right, we got a parlay for you. I'm gonna post it in the Discord. I'm gonna post it in the Patreon. So I got something for you. It's a rough week, guys. It's a rough week. I'm gonna come back. I'll give you something for the Norman. I'll give you something for that card too. I like Norman. He's at minus 400 now, so it shouldn't be too hard to get odds down on that. But I was able to put something together for you guys. I appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by Chilltown.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah,
it's
always
Chilltown Boxing.
Yeah.
It's Chilltown Boxing on Twitter, right? It's just. Yeah,
find me here. It's good. It's good talking to you on YouTube when we can talk about the fights coming up. Oh, there's a bunch of fights coming up for June, July. We'll do it again soon.
Come on anytime. You're welcome on anytime, man. I always appreciate having you on. All right, y'all. June 12th. 2025 from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.